Welcome to the mini podcast project. I'm your host, Anthony Cruz, and today is March 29th, 2017. Hey, folks, it's been a while. And I have to say, man, I took a little break. You know, I'm working. I have like a 9 to 5, and then, then I try to do the stuff that I do at home and on the side, and I get tired, so I took a little break. I have to admit that, I had to just take it slow a little bit, and turn that down a little. So, some things have happened. Nothing crazy, nothing going on, just a lot of stuff about film and TV and movies. The Stephen King's It trailer dropped today, and it looks pretty good so far. Anyone who grew up on Stephen King's It knew that Pennywise the Clown was some scary shit. Like, disregard what they did at the end, because that was some bullshit. But everything leading up to the end was pretty dope. That clown was scary as shit. That gave me nightmares for years. And when I saw the new design for Pennywise, I wasn't really feeling it too much. But seeing the trailer, seeing it in motion, seeing it how it's used, really changes the way you look at it. Same thing with the Power Rangers. They were never my cup of tea. I never liked the Power Rangers that much. I always wanted to like them, but I could never get past the campiness and the stupidness. And then seeing how they looked when they initially dropped the still photos of how they were going to look and the Zords, I was completely nah, it ain't going to happen. But then the trailers dropped and you start seeing them in motion and you're like, oh snap, they did something here. Not to mention that they look a little more alien than the show, because they're supposed to be like aliens or creatures and stuff from another world. Seeing them in motion, you understand the creative aspect they took with it. But yeah, I mean, so that goes to show you, never judge that book by its cover. Because you got to reserve all the judgments until you're absolutely 100% sure that you've seen the finished product and you can make it a fair assessment about what you think of it. Never really go off the trailers. Never really go off of anything until you've seen it. But that's besides the point. One of the things that's kicking my ass about today, and I don't know, like it's starting to pick up a trend. Something that alright, just to backtrack a little bit, we go through these fads, these phases where we take something and we run with it. And for a long time, and it's still happening now, and it dips in and out every once in a while. But this cultural appropriation in film, like, is that like really something that we really need to continue talking about? If it's really blatantly obvious, then sure, why not? But you know what? They ragged on Doctor Strange. They ragged on Doctor Strange like hard because of Tilda Swinton's character. Where they should have been an Asian person, and there was nothing in the comic that said that person was Asian, or maybe partially Asian for the character of the Asian. But it was like, people lose their shit for no reason. It was like that guy who they got to play Michael Jackson. It was a white guy. And I said this before, are you really going to get... who are you going to get to play Michael Jackson? And do it well? We're talking about Michael Jackson towards the end of his life. Not Michael Jackson when he was with his brothers. Two totally different people. You know what I'm saying? So the guy they got to play him, I guess was the best candidate for the job. He looked like him, acted like him, and was able to act on screen. It's one thing to look like the character. It's a different thing altogether than to act like them. and make it believable. It's like this new cat they got for All Eyes on Me, All Eyes on Me or whatever, the new movie about Tupac. The cat that they got from him really looks like Tupac, but it's only half the battle. I mean, yeah, it's great, but he's got to be able to sell the part. Can he act like Tupac? And if they get both best of both worlds, then fantastic. But if not, it's really going to be noticeable when scenes that call for some really heavy acting comes through and he can't deliver. So that's that. I think the cultural appropriation is ridiculous. I mean, the whole fact that they're getting on Scarlett Johansson or the movie studios for choosing Scarlett Johansson in a role that they felt that should have been Asian. No, there was nothing about the Major in Ghost in the Shell that indicated that she was Japanese. She goes by the name Major in the whole film. So just because it was a Japanese production, people automatically assume that it should have been a Japanese girl. No, it doesn't work that way. And not to mention, you have a studio that's trying to bring out an IP that's been around for a long time, and they're trying to bring it, to the U.S., to Hollywood. And how do you sell something and expect to return a profit? You're making a movie that costs a lot of money. You want the best possible person that brings asses to seats. Scarlett Johansson has a following. She's going to put ass to seats. So you pick the best actress who's going to lead the film and bring you the largest return. And that's her. And she, for all intents and purposes, she looks the part. She looks like the character from the movie. So I don't know why people are bitching. Another one. This was recent with the what the hell is that called? Iron Fist. Almost lost it there for a second. Iron Fist. Here it is, another one that they were trying to say that they were whitewashing, and that's another term that they're using, whitewashing, which I don't like, because it's not always the case. There's some cases where, like Gaza, Egypt, fine, they were notoriously guilty of that, but it in no way diminished the film. The film itself is flawed. But just because there were white actors in there, and that, I think that's what leads to a lot of like, what they call it, like that pre-impression, that indication that, oh, this movie's gonna suck because of this, and you hadn't even seen the film yet, or because they mentioned something's gonna happen and you don't like the way it sounds, so therefore your take on it is already negative. And that's what happened. The Iron Fist hadn't even come out, and they were whitewashing the film, saying that, here's another American blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy filling the role of Asian. The character of Iron Fist was never Asian. He was a white man from the very first issue. So people have it wrong. And it's that level of, that level of bombastic, like, naiveness, like, is what get people in trouble, because they don't take the time to understand what the product is. They just see a white guy in the Asian culture, and all of a sudden they want to ascertain it. They want to come up with a conclusion that suggests that, we're white people taking over Asian culture, another cultural appropriation. I hate the language. I hate the terms cultural appropriation, sexual orientation. The language is just, oh man. And that was it. That was another one. Like, another one that was kind of getting to me was why is it such a big deal if characters are gay in the film? When did that become the focal point in whether or not you accept the film or not? Especially when the character's sexual orientation has nothing to do with the overall story or the main characters involved. And a prime example of this was Beauty and the Beast. Disney's making a push to bring more, sexually diverse characters into their stories. And that's fine. You can do that. I know there's a lot of people who are against it. There's the people who are all for it. But there's the majority of us who don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? Whether or not your teacup is gay, or one of the human characters is gay, or, whatever the case may be, it doesn't matter. Because they're not the main characters. Now, if the main character was that, now that is something to talk about. That is a big change from what was established before. Like, if they took Beauty and the Beast and made the Beast a female, then that's something to talk about. Because now you're really making a drastic change to the narrative. But whether or not one character who maybe has one of, 2 lines in the film, gay has, it's the silliest thing to even shed light on. It should, as a matter of fact, if we're so quote unquote tolerant, then we shouldn't even acknowledge it like it's a thing. It is what it is. What was it? When they announced that Sulu was gay for the latest Star Trek Beyond, they brought it out that Sulu was gay, and that reached the news before the movie even come out. Instead of letting people just say, "Oh shit, he's gay," it reached the news like it was a thing. And yeah, he's one of the main characters, but that little scene had nothing to do with the rest of the movie, and they made it into this big thing. So much so that the original Sulu commented on it. What's his name? George Takei. He had to make a comment on it because it was irrelevant. And him being a gay man should have some clout. When a gay man says, what the fuck was the point of that? You can take that to the bank. You can take that as a clue that it did not matter at all. I don't know what it is about today's society, today's thoughts on I don't know, political correctness. I mean, do they feel that they need to preempt these announcements so that people don't lose their shit later on? Are they hand holding too much because they're afraid that we might not accept it? Look, there's countries that banned Beauty and the Beast because of that little reference to a character being gay. A whole movie that has nothing to do with that, but that little tiny reference that got out banned the movie from the country. There are countries that are, totally against it, and that's their prerogative. If that's what they're, what that is, they keep it on the hush. Maybe it's accepted if it's quiet, but socially on the media level unacceptable. That's fine. But just because that little part got out, that whole movie got banned. And that's not the first time that's happened. Some movies get banned because it's too violent. Some movies get banned, but each culture has their their breaking limits. But here it is, we're shedding lights on things that we've been told or even brainwashed in a way to say, no, this is accepted. This is the norm now. You shouldn't react to this, but they're reacting to it. It's a little bit of a rant, but it makes sense, right? Anyway, I digress. That was 14 minutes of this mini podcast talking about that shit. And I really don't give a shit either way. I don't give a fuck. It's just, when it's so much in your face, then I guess you gotta address it. The one, this is the biggest violator out of everything else. Like the other ones, you can kind of like, all right, it is what it is. But this is the biggest violator. What the fuck is up with teasers for teaser trailers? This shit just started, and I hope it stops because it's ridiculous. It's like, what was it? A production, right? Like today with It, Stephen King's It. Yesterday they put a teaser for the teaser trailer. No, they put a teaser for the trailer. That's what it is. They put a teaser for the trailer. So they announced like a little teaser saying, oh, it's coming out tomorrow, the trailer. You can watch it tomorrow. Has it gotten that big? Like the trailers have outshined the movies where you need a teaser for the trailer now? That's just the most ridiculous thing. And they've been doing teasers for a while, but they were just teasers. They're like, oh, it's coming. Let you know that we're still making this. It's coming. Like they did it for Fast 6. They put out a poster. Or it'll be like a motion graphic or something like that. But they'll say, oh, you know what? This movie's coming out. And don't worry. There's a trailer coming soon. You just be patient. They didn't tell you that the trailer's coming out tomorrow. Oh, here it comes. Tomorrow's going to be the trailer for this. You've been waiting for this. It's the most ridiculous thing before. Like before we even had trailers, all you had was a poster. And then you get a trailer. And you had to wait. That's it. Now you're getting, we're promising this tomorrow. Don't worry. I wonder what the most extreme. Is it going to be like a teaser for the teaser for the trailer? Wednesday comes out. This is the teaser for the teaser of Avatar, right? And then you go to Thursday, and this is the teaser for the trailer we're gonna show on Friday of Avatar. That would drive me fucking nuts. That would drive me absolutely nuts. It's really insane how they got us cultured in this like I gotta have it now mentality. Everything's now. I remember you had to wait. Like look how fast DVDs come out now. And that way I am kind of grateful. There are some things that having it now is fucking awesome. But like even now with DVDs, there was a time when a movie would drop and you would wait months for the freaking DVD. And I mean like not like 2 months. We're talking like 6 months. Whether the technology was new and they were still learning how to convert this stuff into, but I remember when it took a long damn time for one of the new movies to reach DVD. Now, especially if the movie sucks, now it's like there's some movies that take a while to come out. Like it'd be like one of the really big movies like Star Wars and Batman: The Dark Knight and stuff like that. Those will take a while before releasing on home video. And the reason for that is that they want to make their money as much as they can in the movie theater. Get that box office money. So they'll go and they'll postpone putting that DVD out. But that DVD and that Blu-ray is already made, pre-packaged. It's ready to go. And they're just saying, all right, this thing has run its course in the theater. Let's get it out onto home video. So that makes sense. But like movies like the Fantastic Four, holy shit! I think like within 2 weeks that the fucking movie was yanked out of the theaters, it hit home video. Because in essence, you got to make up that money, right? The theater's already losing millions of dollars on the flop. So now they go in and they say, look, release it on home video because there's a lot of people who didn't see the movie that still want to see it and may purchase it, maybe at a discounted rate or whatever, or they rent it or they showbox it or whatever the case may be, and they rent the movie and they make a little more income on that film. I mean, it softens the blow, but it doesn't make up for the amount of money that movie lost, and then the other flop for that matter, So, but man, it's a now mentality, man. Like I said, I didn't get on Twitter till like a year ago, 2 years ago maybe, because it was like, how much more now do I want to release information? You know what I'm saying? Like, Facebook was fine. It was quick. You type something up and it goes right up. I don't know how much quicker you need your shit to go up. I'm not a reporter. I'm not trying to outsource somebody, So yeah, I mean, that's the gist of it. Stop with these fucking teasers for the trailers a day before. That's the most ridiculous thing I ever seen. Oh man. Anyway, that's it. That's all I had to fucking say. I hope everybody's doing okay, and I'll be coming out with more stuff soon. I just had to take a little break, and yeah. What else we got out here? I could bullshit for a couple of minutes. Why not? Why not? I hit all the topics I wanted to hit. So now I could just kill time and do a lot of nothing. Shows are coming to an end. Shows are coming to an end. What was it? Enter the Badlands is back. Walking Dead is just about done. Yeah, I wonder because I don't know what happened last year and the year before. Like, as soon as Walking Dead ended, Fear the Walking Dead started. And that was great because you just kept watching Walking Dead. Now we gotta wait till fucking October for Fear the Walking Dead. Like, what the hell happened? Did they reduce the show? Like, what the hell's going on? Because usually October is when Walking Dead comes back on. And I was relying on that. That's my winter show. That keeps me from going outside when it's cold. I'm on the East Coast. It's cold outside. If I was in Florida or Los Angeles, California, somewhere, it'd be fine. I'd be like, all right, it's October, it's November, it's still warm, but no. And yeah, I'm working on episode 3 of Creators Quarter Concepts, and that's going well. I'm going with a different approach here, and I hope it comes out well. Cross my fingers. And yeah, that's it. I mean, that's it. That's all I wanted to say. I got that shit out. Thank you for joining me. Remember to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Tone and Stereo. Follow my Facebook page, Art Graphics Inc. Visit my website, artgraphicsinc.com. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Help me. Like I said last time. Help me help you. Help me help you. And subscribe to that channel. We get a custom URL. Wouldn't you want to be able to find me easier? Don't answer that. So that's it. Thank you for joining me. This is 101, the mini podcast project. I've been your host, Anthony Cruz, and I'll see you next time. Peace.